Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today's hearing is an important step toward protecting our children from the harms of social media. And I want to personally thank Chairman Bilirakis and Chairman Guthrie for their tireless work to protect the most vulnerable among us. 2 weeks ago, the Oversight Subcommittee held a hearing on the risks of AI chatbots and the way that these platforms can be improved to keep children safe. As new technologies like AI chatbots are deployed online, we must honestly evaluate their potential benefits and risks and enact operational, future-proof safeguards that will protect current and future generations. So I welcome the opportunity to learn more about the proposals before us today and how they can achieve our shared goal of protecting children online. Mr. Likas, the Don't Sell Kids Data Act is predicted and predicated on the view that data practices of third parties are inherently harmful to children and teens. Yet, while privacy protections are essential, not every use of data is harmful. In your opinion, as drafted, could the Don't Sell Kids Data Act bring about unintended adverse consequences for kids and teens?
Thank you for that question. In my view, yes. There are no exemptions in this law, and I think there's something that the general public doesn't understand, which is the many ways in which data is used behind the scenes to actually provide us with benefits that we don't see, such as extending auto insurance to teenagers, or enabling students to apply for financial aid, or be scouted for college scholarships. There's a range of positive uses that don't rely on social media data that we've been talking about today, but they rely on data that actually is protected by other privacy laws, the FCRA and the GLBA, and these laws that already provide a means to protect that data so it's only used for legitimate purposes.
Continuing, Mr. Likas, the Don't Sell Kids Data Act includes private right of action to enforce that bill. And in your written testimony, you state that effective enforcement should be designed to improve privacy and safety practices, and that enforcement shouldn't be watered down with private rights of action. That's a quote from your testimony. Can you expand on that point and discuss how a private right of action could actually weaken enforcement and hurt consumers?
Happy to. We've seen a number of instances across the country and state laws, especially with private rights of action, that lead to lawsuits that are based on statutory violations, even if there is no showing of harm. And the impact of this, there's a number of impacts that result from this. One is that it causes firms to act in a more defensive posture. They're trying to minimize their legal risk rather than actually trying to fulfill what their duty is to their consumers or their users, or in some cases, as in here, the youth. And another thing is it drives up costs, especially legal and compliance costs. Particularly hardest hit are the smallest firms, startups, small, medium-sized enterprises.
Could this deter those small startups, those small firms from entering into the market?
It very well could. There have been a lot of studies done on this about the actual economic costs on companies based on privacy laws. There's a law in Illinois called BIPA, which has been particularly notable in this regard. So we want meaningful enforcement and accountability, but we want that enforcement and accountability to lead to change where we need change, and for there to be a recourse for individuals who are truly harmed by practices. And so that's why we would recommend in some of these children's focused laws to really hone in on FTC and AG enforcement.
Thank you. Mr. Thayer, many proposals rely on age verification technology. Some have critiqued age verification as violating privacy and age-gating the internet. What advances in age verification technology give you confidence that we can effectively verify users' ages accurately while at the same time protecting their privacy?
Well, in short, many. So you saw this play out in the Supreme Court in the Paxton case, where part of the assessment that the court was grappling with was not just the content that was at issue, but also the technological advances since the last time they evaluated this, which I believe was in like 1996 or 92. And the internet has completely changed, right? I mean, with the sheer amount of data that we give these companies have completely altered the landscape. And now you have vertically integrated systems like Apple and Google's systems, for instance, where Apple and Google both own not only the device, they own the operating system, they own the app store, and they even have their own native apps. So the idea that, somehow they know exactly when you go to the bathroom and what you want to eat, but yet your age confounds them, like, is a bit of a ridiculous and almost outdated view.
My time has expired. Mr. Chairman, again, I thank you for holding this important hearing, and I yield back.